and Sarah Warren have cost us enough.
I'm Austin Jackson, and my team is proud to be the official injury lawyers of the Augusta Green Jackets. The Augusta Guy, supporting Augusta's team and all those who call the CSRA home.
Your most watched local news is getting a big plus.
WJBF 6 Plus.
The CSRA's trusted news source, now on demand.
WJBF 6 Plus is ready when you are. Download it free today on your favorite streaming device. The News Channel 6 mobile app is now even better. Download it today.
Now on News Channel 6 at 5, a dry spell in the CSRA.
We're going to tell you what experts have to say about the drought as Your News at 5 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 5.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Brant Mean.
And I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thank you so much for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins as dry conditions across the CSRA are starting to impact more than just the landscape.
Yeah, News Channel 6's Jartavius Edmond joining us live with a look at how the recent lack of rainfall is affecting people. Jartavius?
Yeah, Brad, literally, if you step outside of your house or even here at Television Park, you can see how dry the grass is, or even how the ground is just full of crackness or literally anything. And experts say that if you just step outside and see everything, you can see how far this drought is starting to take over. Across the CSRA, a lack of rain is starting to take a toll. For farmers, that impact is even more serious as they work to keep their crops and livestock alive.
In the early spring, we usually have a good bit of rain, and we didn't have that this year. So we tried planting our corn for the harvest for our cows, barely got it in the ground. We actually had to go back and break some ground with some heavier plows that we normally just strip till in, and broke the planters twice trying to do it. And we've got corn that hadn't come up yet that should be up 6-8 inches tall.
Experts say dry conditions like this can affect everything from plant growth to water usage. What could the impact look like moving forward, just from your expertise?
It really could devastate farmers for sure. They're going to have to run their irrigation systems, and if they do what's called dry land, which is non-irrigation stuff, is they may lose a crop, may have to replant, or may not be able to plant at all.
And for many, the concern is what happens next if rain doesn't come.
It could get worse. It could get a lot worse, and it affects us. It affects cattle inventories across the state. Not only dairy, but you think of beef farmers have to grow feed and buy feed. It's getting to a critical point, and then with the fuel being a lot more expensive and the fertilizer being outrageously expensive, you know, it's just one on top of the other. It's rough.
For now, many are watching the skies, hoping for relief. And experts say if these dry conditions continue, we could start seeing even more impact, not just for farmers, but for the entire area. Live in Augusta, Jartavius Edmond, WJBF, News Channel 6.
All right, Jartavius, we appreciate you. A local county needs some help during this drought. It's Columbia County, and they're asking people to conserve as much water as possible. The utilities director says that includes trying to limit your outdoor watering between 10 in the morning and 4 p.m. and check those sprinkler controllers to make sure that they reflect that new schedule.
Time now for a first check of the weather.
Before that, we want to check in with our chief meteorologist, Jenna Petracci.
Well, because of the drought persisting, we do still have these fire danger concerns as well. You can see this is issued by the Storm Prediction Center. And for the rest of today, we are under an elevated threat of fire danger. So what that means is that a very small spark or ember that typically wouldn't be a problem could end up turning into a wildfire. So it's still highly discouraged that you burn outside if you're in our Georgia counties, and the state of South Carolina remains under that burn ban until further notice. You can see the relative humidity is very low, down to the teens, and we also have some windy conditions coming out of the northwest. The sustained winds are even up to 14 miles per hour in Augusta, with those winds gusting up to around 20. We do have beautiful sunshine to enjoy, though, on this Monday. This is our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview Cam in Aiken. It was a cold start to this day, though. We actually started out in the upper 30s in some spots north of I-20, so we are dealing with weather whiplash from the 90s all the way back down to the 30s. But we are experiencing a warming trend this week. It's now up to 8 degrees warmer in Augusta compared to this time yesterday, and even warmer than that in some of our northern counties. So right now, very comfortable out there, mid to upper 70s. Augusta, you're at 76 degrees, 75 in Aiken, and everyone else sitting about the same. Now, the Columbia County Spring Fair continues this evening, and it's going to be a nice night for it as we drop down to 60 by 10 p.m. So getting a bit cool, but it really won't be until the overnight hours and early tomorrow morning where it really gets cold out there with a low of 44. On Wednesday is when we really start to warm back up with highs hitting the 80s again, and I'll have a look at how long this warm up will last along with our next chance of rain coming up in the full forecast. So stay with us, but back to you, Jenny.
All right, Jenna, thank you. Voting rights groups across Georgia are urged. Changes are being proposed in Riverside Village to ease congestion, but they're tied to a bigger decision about the future of North Augusta's riverfront. You're taking a live look now at the North Augusta City Building, where a vote on the project is being held tonight. The plan adds barriers, bollards, and about 55 golf cart spaces near SRP Park, but it all centers on Parcel D. City leaders are considering rezoning the land and early steps for a proposed cyber center. They say DOE settlement funds are restricted to cyber infrastructure projects.
There's nothing in that agreement that says a cyber center has to go on Parcel D. The impact fees we just passed, we could borrow for the little, at most $200,000 that is wanted for this land. I think we could raise that money amongst the constituents and the people that live in this area to keep this green space.
Neighbors will have the chance to weigh in tonight. The mayor's power hour starts at 5:30. A public hearing on changes to the master agreement is at 5:45, and the city council meeting starts at 6 o'clock. The South Carolina Highway Patrol is investigating a deadly accident. It happened last night on Sandbar Ferry Road at Laurie Drive in Beach Island. The Aiken County coroner says David Smith III was driving a motorcycle and crashed into the trailer of a semi-truck turning onto Sandbar Ferry. Smith died in the wreck. Former Richmond County Chief Deputy Patrick Clayton has died after a battle with acute respiratory distress syndrome. Clayton dedicated 45 years of his life to service at the military, federal, state, and local levels. He worked for the Richmond County Board of Education as chief of police before joining the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. He served as chief deputy until his retirement 2 years ago. Under his leadership, the Richmond County Sheriff's Office achieved and maintained Triple Crown accreditation across operations, detention, and medical services. Funeral arrangements haven't yet been announced. Augusta community leaders are showing their support for SPLOST 9 ahead of the May primary. Next time on Jenny, lung cancer is one of the deadliest cancers in America, causing more than 1 million deaths every year. Up to 85% of all lung cancers are attributed to cigarette smoking, but that's not the only thing. It could be from pollution or secondhand smoke exposure. Symptoms include coughing up blood and shortness of breath. LDCT screening can catch lung cancer much earlier when it's treatable or even curable.
It takes a traditional 3D picture of your lungs using much less radiation than you normally would get. It helps us find little specks, basically early lung cancers, when they're still extremely small, that a normal CAT or X-ray would not be able to pick up. Okay. So we're talking about things that are going to be measuring about 6 millimeters, so we can actually identify those and track those and make sure that they're not growing or showing any concerning signs that they could be an early lung cancer.
Dr. Henry gives us important information about lung cancer prevention and explains how the Jernigan Golf Tournament benefits screening for uninsured patients. Plus, meet Mary Poppins. A couple of cast members join us from the Musical Theater Workshop's upcoming show tomorrow at 12:30 on Jenny. Coming up, reopening Lake Lure, how the town is preparing for phase 1 of the soft open. Next.
Well, after being closed for more than a year after Hurricane Helene, Lake Lure is beginning the process of reopening.
Ripley Simone has more on today's soft launch.
After a year and a half of cleaning and rebuilding from Hurricane Helene, Lake Lure is back to full pond and will soon be fully open for the public to enjoy. But before that day comes, officials are starting with a soft opening. Lake Lure Mayor Carol Pritchett says phase 1 of reopening the lake is focused on safety. While the lake is back to full pond, there are some temporary restrictions on who and what can be on the water. She says the entire lake is a no-wake zone, which means the public is not allowed to launch from town-owned ramps just yet.
We are still in the process of making sure there's no debris in the lake that might be floating around, and we just don't want anybody's motor on their boat to get ruined.
Part of the reason why is because the ramp in Morse Park is still being rebuilt, but you are permitted to be on the lake if a contractor can launch your boat from your personal boathouse or step.
The lake is open to fishing, which is a great thing. It's open for non-motorized vehicles. We just ask that everybody be really careful when they're out there because there is construction still going on.
That construction, Mayor Pritchett explained, is a reminder of all that the people of this area have gone through. What is now shining blue waves was once overgrown weeds and vegetation from all the debris that traveled down from Chimney Rock. It took tons of cleanup work to get it where it is now. And as officials look into the future, Mayor Pritchett says they've taken extra precautions to strengthen the lake and its barriers in preparation for the next possible storm that comes through.
We're just so grateful for everything that everybody has done to help us get to this spot. This is really just a source of joy and hope to all of our business owners.
Mayor Pritchett says Lake Lure will be fully open Memorial Weekend, and to celebrate that accomplishment, there's tons of events leading up to then for the public to attend.
More mild temperatures tomorrow, but we will start to see a warm up on Wednesday, and it's going to stay dry for now, but don't worry, we finally are going to be entering a wet pattern as we wrap up the month of April. I'll have your full Vapor 6 forecast with a look at those rain chances when we return.
You can't always choose the weather, but you can choose your weather app. Go with the most accurate and most trusted, the Live Viper 6 mobile app. Download it today.
After my motorcycle.
Patient safety is our top priority. We're dedicated to delivering quality, compassionate care to families, friends, and neighbors within our community. From innovation and precision to the collaboration of services, we are committed to elevating the standard of care for your overall health. We are equipped and present during life's pivotal moments, surrounding you with a team devoted to the highest level of safety, committed to quality, rooted in community. We are Aiken Regional.
I think this is my favorite. Hun, what do you think of this one? From design and products to removal and installation, Rebath is with you through every step of your remodel. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,000 off your complete bathroom remodel.
Stock up and save big at Hamrick's with extraordinary savings in everyday needs. Get men's Famous Maker polos and shorts for $10. Wind chimes, $20. Select lady sandals, $12. Bug zappers, only $10. Solar lighting, $20. Ladies Famous Maker bottoms, $8. And ladies sleepwear, $10. Get more amazing deals, more value, and more savings. Stock up today, only at Hamrick's.
The number one place to start your day is on the number one entertainment talk show, Live. Stop it. The number one place for your morning.
That math all makes sense to me.
Weekday mornings at 9 on News Channel 6. Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Welcome back. It's a lovely Monday as we start out with our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview Cam down in Allendale County. Sunny skies, and look at those flags. It is pretty windy out there with winds out of the northwest coming in at 14 miles per hour in Augusta, winds gusting up to around 20. But the temperatures are picture perfect. We're finally back to where we should be for this time of the year with those highs topping off in the mid to upper 70s. Our dew points are very low in the 20s, putting our humidity down to only 18%. So it is a very dry and sunny day across the entire area. Temperatures anywhere from around 74 in Edgefield to 77 in Sylvania. So overall, very consistent with high pressure in control. So we are still dry here in the two-state, but finally we're seeing some shower activity start to develop across Texas. But overall, the nation is fairly quiet today weather-wise, which is great for places places up towards the Midwest and the Southern Plains where they have been dealing with that severe weather last week. So things are definitely quieting out. You can see for our area, ridge of high pressure is moving back in on Wednesday. You can see it there, and that's going to lead to the warming temperatures. But in the meantime, tomorrow we will have another chilly start to our day, 48 in the morning, and then we will be climbing into the upper 70s, so similar to how it was today. So those lows tonight are going to be around 46 and even down to 44 in Augusta, up to around 50 degrees at the warmest. But we'll continue to see those low temperatures get warmer each day. 50 on Thursday and then up to the 60-degree mark as we get to the weekend. Now, as for the high temperatures tomorrow, once again, average high is 79, so we will be right around that. But you can see as we get to Wednesday, which happens to be Earth Day, it will be nice and warmer, up to 84 degrees. So staying away from 90, but definitely getting warmer. And over the weekend, not only did we have that summer-like warmth with highs around 90, but we also finally had some rain, but not the best news to share. It was just a trace amount recorded in places like Richmond County down to Burke, Emmanuel County. So we desperately could use more rain than that. And it does look like we're going to be entering a wet pattern as we wrap up the month of April. But so far, we are actually in first place for the driest April on record. You can see 1970 was in first place with 0.6 inches of rain, but with just a trace amount so far, we would be in first place if the month were to end tomorrow. But you can see those rain chances increasing to around 30 to 40% Saturday through Monday. And you can see that here on our Futurecast. So it's not going to be a washout the entire weekend, but it does look like we will at least see some isolated to scattered activity, primarily Saturday night into Sunday morning. Of course, the timing of this could still change, but this is what we're seeing as of now. More showers Sunday night into Monday. But over the next week, we're still only expecting up to around 1/10 of an inch of rain, but you can see a lot more rainfall to the west of us. So that will continue to move into our direction. And on our 10-day forecast here, you can see those rain chances will linger all the way through next Thursday. So even if you don't see rain this weekend, you may have a shot at seeing it next week. And those temperatures will be staying pretty warm with highs mostly in the 80s.
All right, Jenna, thank you. Still ahead, a community coming together.
What Georgetown is doing to help a new family after the break.
Wednesday, the biggest... Hey, your wife is hot. Yeah, she is. No, not like that, dummy. I mean, she's literally sweating because your AC is on life support. And if you don't call Cool Ray Mechanical soon, things are going to get uncomfortable. We'll have your AC up and running fast, so the only heat you'll feel is the good kind. Cool Ray Mechanical, your Ream Pro partner, has been keeping homes cool, wives comfortable, and marriages intact since 2006.
A community in Georgia rallying around a family after their newborn daughter was born prematurely.
Jillian Coles has the story.
Richmond Hill residents drove by and honked, holding all of these balloons and signs, all to put a smile on 3-year-old Jasmine Allen's face.
Jasmine's mother, Cody Lynn Allen, says her daughter was born early at just 32 weeks. At first, doctors thought everything was okay with their 4-pound baby. But when Jasmine started having seizures, they knew something was wrong. Jasmine's brain injury caused her to have cerebral palsy and development delays. Allen said her world changed forever.
She had brain damage. He was actually deployed when I found out, and they sent him home on emergency leave. They told us she may never be able to walk or talk or anything. So all of our dreams and plans of, what you imagine having a little girl changed completely.
For the past 3 years, the family has been traveling to St. Louis for Jasmine's medical care, including spinal surgery and checkups. Allen said she had to quit her job to care for her baby. During a month-long stay in St. Louis, away from their other children, the community stepped in to support them by feeding the kids at home and paying for their flights completely through donation.
We had 3 boys at home. Their godmother flew in from Alaska for an entire month, and they had meals for, we were still eating meals that were put in the freezer afterwards for a few weeks after we even got home. So it was it was a blessing and was able to take a huge load off of us.
When it came time to plan Jasmine's birthday party, Alan asked the community to help with a surprise using one of Jasmine's favorites, balloons. This weekend, hundreds showed up driving through the neighborhood with signs, music, birthday wishes, and balloons, all for Jasmine.
She didn't expect it to be so big, and we just wanted a few cars to come by and say hello, drop off a few balloons, maybe 20 people or something, and then there was just overnight, like 100 people had messaged me, we want to come.
When we got back in, like, I cried because I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is crazy.
Nice thing to do. And that does it for us this half hour, but we have more coverage you can count on at 5:30.
Including refunds going out to businesses affected by tariffs today. How a new portal will return money lost in shipping costs. Next at 5:30.
Every day, ordinary people in the CSRA do extraordinary things to serve our community. Each month, News Channel 6 recognizes these outstanding volunteers with the Giving Your Best Award. Do you know an everyday hero who goes the extra mile to help others? Nominate them for the Giving Your Best Award by visiting WJBF.com and filling out the entry form.
Sponsored by Science Co., Piedmont Augusta, Security Federal Bank, and News Channel 6.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's a lot of reasons. Today, our roads are littered with killing machines. I'm talking about semi-trucks. They can easily kill, even at low speeds. Overworked truck drivers are driving all day and all night. Injured in a trucking accident? We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. For the people.com.
Hey, CSRA, MikeMerceTherapyCenter.com.
Georgia Power presents Don't Get Scammed with George.
Crooks are out there in your neighborhood, my neighborhood, even in my mom's neighborhood. Hi, Mom.
George, these nice men work for the power company.
No, Mom, they're con artists. They say they're going to cut your power unless you pay them with cash or buy a prepaid debit card.
How am I supposed to know?
Georgia Power won't do that. If they don't have a logoed badge, a uniform, and a marked vehicle, it's a scam. Don't be a victim.
Visit georgiapower.com/scam.
The Live Viper 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai. Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 5:30.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dee Griffin. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping today's headlines, drought conditions continue across the CSRA. The lack of rain taking a toll on lawns and local farms, affecting planting schedules. If the lack of rain continues, the impact could grow even worse. Changes are being proposed in Riverside Village to ease congestion, but they're tied to a bigger decision about the future of North Augusta's riverfront. The plan adds barriers, bollards, and about 55 golf cart spaces near SRP Park, but it all centers on Parcel D. City leaders are considering rezoning the land and early steps for a proposed cyber center. And they say DOE settlement funds are restricted to cyber infrastructure projects. A public hearing on changes to the master agreement is at 5:45. The city council meeting starts at 6. Former Richmond County Chief Deputy Pat Clayton has died after a battle with acute respiratory distress syndrome. Mr. Clayton dedicated 45 years of his life to service and the military on the federal, state, and local levels as well. He worked for the Richmond County Board of Education as chief of police before joining the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. He served as chief deputy until his retirement 2 years ago. Funeral arrangements are not yet known, and our prayers are extended to his wife and children, family, and friends. Pat will be missed. He was a great man. Well, coverage you can count on begins with the federal government rolling out a new... Meteorologist Jenna Petracci joins us now with a check of our weather, and it was a lovely day, but yesterday was even lovelier, if that's a word.
Yeah, so I know you're a fan of these cooler temperatures then, Dee.
Yes.
Even this morning, were you okay with this? 30s out there?
Took my son to school, I think it was 40-something. I was like, ah.
I hope he wore his jacket.
Yes,
I know
he did.
he probably didn't want to.
He didn't want to.
And it's confusing this time of the year because one day we're at 90 and you don't need a jacket at all, and then just like that. We are back to the 30s. These are the observed temperatures from 7:30 this morning. We were down to 37 in Lincolnton, 40 in Augusta. But right now, like Dee mentioned, it's feeling great out there. We're back to near average, how it should be for this time of the year, with those highs in the mid to upper 70s. Augusta at 76, Aiken, you're at 75. Relative humidity is very low, down to the teens. We have all this dry air in place with winds coming out of the northwest. 14 miles per hour in Augusta, 13 in Aiken, and beautiful sunshine for us to enjoy on this Monday. Here's our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam looking over the Savannah River. Now you can see we do have the Columbia County Spring Fair going on tonight. Once again, we're going to see those temperatures drop to around 60 by 10 p.m., staying clear and dry, and we will continue to see the dry weather through the next few days. Plenty of sunshine, which means low humidity, and with the low humidity and the breezy winds, we do continue to still have that threat of fire danger. And fortunately, we finally will have some rain chances that could help with that as we go into the weekend. I'll have more details on that coming up, but back to you, Dee.
All right, thanks so much. We'll see then. Crews continue to battle a brush fire in upstate South Carolina. It sparked yesterday in a wooded area behind a neighborhood in Greer. Firefighters say the blaze is contained, but will likely continue to smolder for a few days. The dry and windy conditions are a concern for local first responders.
It was extremely hard to access, but it was a lot of the fallen trees from Helene, which made it a very large fuel load, as we call it. We contacted South Carolina Forestry, and they came in and cleared a fire break around it, and it's still burning as of today.
Firefighters say no property was damaged and there is no damage or danger to the community. Charges filed today against pop singer David in the death of a teenager who, well, coming up, consulting AI for health advice, plus a daring stunt nearly ends in disaster. It's all coming up in What's Tripping.
The temperatures will remain pretty mild tomorrow, but we will start to warm up on Wednesday, followed by a wet pattern as we wrap up the month of April. I'll have your full Vapor 6 forecast after What's Trending.
Many people are turning to AI for health advice. A recent poll found that 1 in 4 adults in the U.S. has used an AI tool for health information or advice in the past 30 days. 7 in 10 people surveyed said they used it to get quick answers. In some cases, ChatGPT helped them evaluate what kind of medical attention to seek. They also used it for research before seeing a doctor or after an appointment. Well, Uber is offering a way for a high school student to get to prom. Teenagers between 13 and 17 with Uber Teen accounts can get free rides, 3 of them, from now until June 30th. To unlock the free ride, they have to use the code YES with an exclamation point at the end. Teens can also reserve their Uber for their prom up to 90 days in advance. That's pretty cool, definitely. So a safe way to get to and from prom, definitely. So check that out if you need to. Up next, we need to see what's going on with our weather, definitely, and it's pretty cool too. I'm loving what I see. Hopefully we'll have more. Jenna has the full forecast coming up next.
I'll see one at the intersection. Easy.
The day my daughter was hit by a truck, my world stopped. I called George Sink Injury Lawyers. They listened, they cared, and they fought like it was their own child and got us $1 million. When it feels out of your hands, call all nines.
Closed captioning on News Channel 6 is sponsored by Hearing Associates of South Carolina. The News Channel 6 mobile app is now even better. Download it today.
Hands, call all nines.
Closed captioning on News Channel 6 is sponsored by Hearing Associates of South Carolina. The News Channel 6 mobile app is now even better. Download it today. Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Welcome back. I hope you're enjoying your Monday. It's a lovely day weather-wise. We have lots of sunshine as we start out with our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam in McDuffie County. 76 degrees. You just can't beat it for this time of the year. So we're finally back to around average after that big warm-up we had over the weekend. We were near 90 on Saturday, but then a cold front came through yesterday, and that knocked our temperatures down quite a bit. It is breezy with a northwest wind up to 14 miles per hour. Humidity is low at 18%. And around the CSRA, we're all very consistent, anyone from around 74 to 78 degrees. High pressure is moving in overhead, and as it does so, we will continue to stay dry and sunny, and the winds will be lighter tomorrow. We're also watching this batch of showers that has developed across Texas. Just plain old rain, no severe storms out that way, which is great news for Texas and, of course, up towards the Midwest, where they were dealing with that that significant severe weather late last week. Now the nation is looking fairly quiet today, and tomorrow we will continue to see a mild day across the area. Those cooler temperatures will persist for one more day, but look at this feature here. This is a ridge of high pressure that will be moving back in. Now it's not going to get quite as warm as it was last week, but you will start to notice that warm up beginning on Wednesday. But in the meantime, tomorrow, 40s again in the morning, then getting to the upper 70s as the day goes on. Winds will be light out of the northeast. So our average low temperature is 52, but we will be below that all the way down to 44 tonight in Augusta. But the low temperatures will steadily rise, eventually hitting 50 on Thursday and then hitting 60 as we go into the weekend. So high temperatures tomorrow are going to be closer to around average in the upper 70s. And then you can see by the time we get to Wednesday, which is Earth Day, we will hit 84 degrees, putting us back to above average temperatures. Now, like I mentioned, we did have a cold front come through yesterday, and you may have noticed just a few raindrops with that cold front. I know I did when I was in North Augusta on Sunday morning, just a few raindrops, but that only amounted to a trace amount of rain. We desperately need more than that. So we also had a trace amount of rain come through on Easter Sunday. So that's what our total is at so far for the month of April. And if this were to persist through the end of the month, we would end up breaking the record for the driest April on record here in Augusta. But we do have some good news for all farmers out there and everyone that really wants rain, and that is that we'll be entering a wetter pattern starting on Saturday. And you can see that here on our feature cast. So don't pay too close attention to the timing on this because, of course, things could still change. As of now, this is showing some scattered activity Saturday night into early Sunday morning, and then again Sunday night into Monday. And it's not just going to be those few days. We will see more rain chances next week. So over the next week, now through Monday, we are only expecting up to around 1/10 of an inch of rain, but we could get some more after that. So our 10-day forecast showing those rain chances anywhere from around 20 to 40% from Saturday all the way through next Thursday. So still not as much rain as we would like, but it's better than nothing, Dee. We have been so dry lately that even some isolated showers would be better than nothing.
We need some rain, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, thanks so much. In addition to dry condition, farmers in South Carolina are dealing with another headache. And the conflict in Iran causing a spike in, well, still ahead, an adoption event in California where the former owner of nearly 500 ducks says he still wants them after the break.
At Stanton, you get the best value. 2 pairs for just $79. A free eye exam, anti-glare made same day.
That's value you can actually see.
Smart, simple, Stanton.
We must move South Carolina. I am Richard Lawson, and we're celebrating Black excellence.
Celebrating Black Excellence 365, only on News Channel 6.
At Stanton, we sell great frames. All sorts of frames. Over 1,000 frames, starting at just $79.
I saved money, and I see great.
Smart, simple, Stanton.
An animal shelter in California is scrambling to adopt out nearly 500 ducks after they were rescued from a boarding house. Shelby Nelson has more.
This is the largest intake of animals that we've had for the department in a decade.
That amount is 480 ducks, and they were all surrendered to Riverside County Animal Services from a property owner in unincorporated Riverside County. Wednesday marking the first day for people to adopt them out here at the San Jacinto campus. I'm told at the beginning of this, these stalls were full of ducks, even on the other side, and now this is what is remaining. Veronica Perez is a spokesperson for Animal Services. She says the department received complaints of overcrowding at a location where Howie Berkowitz, a man who we've spoken to in the past, intended on operating a duck sanctuary.
Our animal control officers periodically would inspect the location, never saw any animal welfare concerns.
So why take them in? Those complaints also led to testing the ducks for infectious diseases, all of which came out negative. While the department claims, based on limited assessments, that the animals did not receive adequate caretaking and that overcrowding can lead to decreased immune function, Howie is fighting back, telling KTLA he's properly cared for these ducks when no one else has, and was in the process of making more space for them on his property.
For the last 9 years, I've been the only place that any animal control or any shelter or any rescue could call and I would take in injured ducks.
Now, these adoptions have been free. Howie says that he surrendered these ducks under the impression from the county that they would be taken to a sanctuary, but says instead they were brought to the shelter.
Oh, wow. They're so nice and pretty. I love ducks. Well, that does it for this half hour, but we have more coverage you can count on coming up next at 6, including a big vote tonight in North Augusta, what the future holds for a proposed cyber center. Next.
Follow News Channel 6 on Instagram.
For over 30 years, Augusta